Brother Ray. So when she mentioned our brother Dr. Ray Hagins, I said, that's my homie. I said, yeah, I can get. I can get in touch with my homie. Yeah, I'm gonna get in touch with him. So you know, we reached out and reached out to some others, Brother Kaba, and we got in touch with Brother Ray, and I told him about this here event, the fact that he was coming this here way, that I would like for him to come and talk, you know, to the community on this here issue, and he was excited. He said, yes, man, you know, I feel good and happy to be home, and I'm very happy to see him. He's a psychologist, a historian, and I present to you our friend, our brother, our freedom fighter, Dr. Ray Hagins.
Thank you, Brother Bilal. Would it be okay if I stay seated?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. It's good to be, first of all, let me just get right into this. It's good to be here today. I give all praise and thanks to the Almighty for being so good in my life and allowing me to come back to where I was raised, from childhood to adulthood, right here in Paterson, New Jersey. I grew up here, as you just heard me say. Went to school 20, graduated Eastside High School in 1971. I think I doubt very seriously if there's any of you in this room who I have not touched your life or your family's life in one way or another. I used to service Bragg Funeral Home. So for many years I played for all of the funerals, did music there. My church was on Hagins Avenue, Gilmore Memorial, who was my mom, and Bishop Gilmore, my dad. And then I had my ministry on Market Street here, and till I left up out here in 1995. From 1995 to 2007, I was a critical incident officer for the North New Jersey Police Department. So I have a lot of experience at dealing with law enforcement encounters and things on that wise. I hold a doctorate in philosophy with an emphasis in cognitive psychology, doctorate in critical counseling, and so I'm glad that the Creator allowed me to come to this point in my development. Here I am back in the city of my growth to talk to you young brothers and whoever else is here. On June 30th, 2012, there were 7,634 black male prisoners for every 100,000 black people in this country. Compared that to 2,478 Hispanic prisoners, and compare that to 881 white prisoners. Did y'all get those numbers? For every 100,000 of each group that I just said. Throw those numbers again. Black prisoners was 7,634. Hispanic prisoners was 2,478. White people was 881. Okay?
What you saying?
What I'm saying is the incarceration or the criminalization of the black male is big business. Big business. In 1985, I started my own school in this city, Gilmore Memorial Christian Academy, up on Hagins Avenue. And I used to bring children into my school and do what was called a diagnostic test, entrance test. The stay 9 scores. Okay, I need you guys in the back to hush, man. Okay? Y'all little guys back there? Did y'all hear me? Okay.
Isaiah, if they start
or either bring them up on the front here or something.
Okay.
Come up here.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Because I want you to know, hey, I came here to talk to y'all, man. I came all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to talk to y'all.
Little guys back there, they not even tuned into this.
Yeah, well, they need to be. Because it's their age that's already programmed to go to jail.
That's right.
They've already decided where y'all are going to go.
So
You follow what I'm saying? So you guys really need to hear what I'm saying. I used to watch young people like you guys come into what is called lockup in a human chain in Essex County. And when I say human chain, I mean brothers, young boys, handcuffed to each other. As a human chain, man. 20, 25 young brothers coming into lockup at a time. What always amazed me, though, was how if there was a white boy in the lockup, he would be unhandcuffed and allowed to go make a phone call. I used to wonder, why was that? Why are you letting him go make a phone call, and all these other young black males here, you know, you holding them in the cell, you know, asking them who their parents are. You don't trust them to make a phone call. You're going to call their parents for them. Okay, but you're going to let the white boy go use the phone on his own. You don't know who he's calling. Why are more than 50% of our black males between ages of 16 and 22 out of work or not in school? Why is that? There's a reason. As I was saying, man, I would take children to my school, and it's deep because little boys at 5 and 6 years old in the entrance exam, their stay-9 score would be about 7.3, 7.7, 8.2. The highest you can score is a 9. So why is it that these young black males are coming into my school as potential geniuses? But by the time they get ready into the 5th grade, their stay-9 score has dropped to like a 4.3. By the time they're in the 10th grade, their stay-9 score is a little bit better than a 3. Why is that? But yet the female stay-9 score hasn't dropped at all. Why? As I just said, we're talking big business. And I'm not going to talk long because I want to hear from you guys. I think one of the problems is we do all of the talking to y'all and don't give you a chance to talk. So I want to give you a chance to talk so we can answer your inquiries and your questions. What's going on in here? Everybody say this. Ordo ad Teo. Come on, let me hear you. Y'all are brothers. Y'all should sound like an army.
Exactly.
Ordo ad Teo.
Ordo ad Teo.
Ordo ad Teo is Latin. Ordo is order in English. Ab is from in English. Teo is chaos in English. So what does ordo ab Teo mean? Order from chaos. Everybody say crisis creation.
Crisis creation.
I want you to understand how this works. See, the powers that be have an agenda that must be accomplished. So in order to accomplish this agenda, they create a crisis which results in you asking for a solution. For example, flooding our community with weapons. Flooding our community with drugs. So you know what our parents and the older people say? Send help. What is the help? The police state that they want. So they create a crisis so that you'll ask for the help, so they'll send in, you get the picture? So in essence, what I'm saying is, the very people who created the crisis is going to turn around and play the role of being the savior. To get things to where they want it to be. I asked you to say something else, and please, if you have a smartphone, I know my brother told you to put them away. If you have notes, please look up what I'm saying. That's one of the things I like about smartphones now. When I stand up and lecture, I tell people just Google what I'm saying while I'm talking so you can see it for yourself. Everybody say the Tavistock Institute.
Tavistock Institute.
How many of you in here do not know what the Tavistock Institute is? Wow. It's so important to understand, y'all. It's hard to fight an enemy that you don't even know exists. If you don't know an enemy exists, then how can you fight it? One of the greatest enemies to our urban communities is a front for the United States government called the Tavistock Institute. The Tavistock Institute is a CIA front of psychologists. It's a think tank for the United States government, and what they do all day long is they come up with norms and styles and behavioral patterns to be implemented in urban America. It's the Tavistock Institute that came up with the design of sagging. It's the Tavistock Institute that came up with, what do you call that haircut with the hair here? Mohawk. Mohawk. It's the Tavistock Institute that came up with the idea of wearing your hat on one side over here. It's the Tavistock Institute that came up, y'all getting this? In other words, you know, I was in the airport one day and I saw a dude with an earring in each ear. And I said, man, who gave you that idea? Where'd you get that from? Because you didn't come up with it because too many people are doing it. He didn't have no idea. He was doing it because he's seen it done. And one of the worst things you can do is engage in behavior simply because other people are doing it. That's called mind control. Y'all getting what I'm saying? Okay, when your appearance looks like everybody else's and you didn't come up with the idea for it, that's mind control. When you dress a certain way that you didn't come up with, but you're doing it because you've seen it, that's called mind control. When you engage in certain personality disorders, Tavistock Institute, they actually have a division called Personality Adjustment Bureau in the Tavistock Institute, where they do things in our community to develop certain personalities, to develop certain behavior patterns. You need to understand what the Tavistock Institute is. Let me share two Bible stories right quickly, 30 seconds with you. How many of y'all went to Sunday school? Come on, I know all of you. I'm sure your parents took you to Sunday school even if you don't feel go. Okay, and I'm not saying that you should. I'm just asking who did go. Have y'all ever heard the story about Pharaoh, okay, killing the firstborn? Have you ever heard about that story where Pharaoh tried to kill the babies when they were born? Have you ever heard the story about Herod trying to kill the babies when they were born? The purpose of that, and trust me, even though it's an Old Testament version of with Pharaoh, it's a New Testament version with Herod, guess what, y'all? That same story is being carried out by the United States government to kill off the male children. And the reason for it is to prevent the rise of a Messiah. Don't take my word for what I'm saying. Everybody, how many of you heard of the COINTELPRO? Okay, see some hands over here. Young brothers, you need to know about this. The Counterintelligence Program of the United States Department of Justice, FBI. Brother said you wanted to be FBI. I'm glad to hear you say that, man. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But the FBI, Counterintelligence Program. The purpose of the FBI Counterintelligence Program is to invade black America. And I quote, to prevent the rise of a Messiah who can unite and electrify the people. I'm not making this up. That's it, man. That's their goal. So the best way to prevent the rise of a Messiah is to kill you. Am I making sense? Imagine this, if you will. Let me use this analogy. There's a beast that wants to devour you. Our job is to teach you how to keep your arm out of the lion's mouth. You see, here's the problem. I apologize to you young people. I apologize to you as a representative of the older generations that have let you down. Because what we did is we churchified you. We churchified you so damn much instead of preparing you for adulthood. And one of the, mind you now, I'm not attacking the church, I'm a pastor. But one of the things that we have done is we have convinced you that you have no future. And you know how we did it? We told you that Jesus was on his way back. See, here's how this goes. If Jesus is on his way back, then why prepare for a future? Why worry about going to college if he's going to be here any day? We've snatched your future away with you with our churchianity. I know somebody don't like what I'm saying. I don't give a damn. We've snatched your future away with our churchianity. Instead of preparing you for motherhood. Instead of preparing you for fatherhood. You grab what I'm saying? So I appreciate what Bilal and his brothers doing in this program. To prepare you for male socialization and prepare you for a future. So you stop expecting that you're going to get up out of here tomorrow. Am I making sense? You have been targeted for elimination, brothers. And let me talk to the brothers specifically right now. You've been targeted for elimination by a 3-step program in this society. It's called 1, deterioration. Everybody say deterioration.
Deterioration.
2, criminalization.
Criminalization.
And justifiable elimination.
Justifiable.
What are those 3 things again? Come on, that's your short-term memory is not too good. What's the first one? Deterioration. Now, what is that? Deterioration is when you deteriorate or eliminate the lower class family unit. Grab how deep this goes. You have been so strategically designed for elimination, okay, that your home has been strategically disintegrated. So what happens is most of us end up growing up in a single-parent home. How many of you guys, who in here grew up in a single-parent home? Let me see your hand. Raise it high. Okay. All right. The single-parent home situation, what that means is when mama is so busy, preoccupied, trying to make ends meet, that she don't have time to be your parent. Are y'all getting this? So mommy, she gets you up to go to school, she rushes off to work, puts you in a preschool or after-school program. When she comes home from work and picks you up, it's like 6 or 7 o'clock at night.
That's right.
Instead of preparing a decent, healthy meal for you, she gets some nuggets, a Burger King, or some poison like that. Feeds you. It's time, get your homework done. It's time to go to bed and get up and start the next day doing the same thing. So she hasn't even had the time to be your parent. That's called deterioration, because you grow up without a home value and you find more attraction in the streets. Are y'all understanding how this works? Yes. Am I making sense? Talk to me. Mm-hmm. Then the next step is the criminalization of you. Okay? Because you begin to seek associations and fellowships outside of your home in the streets, and you end up engaging in criminal activity. Especially when you have to drop out of school because you can't keep up, because you have been intentionally removed from the academic picture. Then when you get involved in the criminalization program, the next step is justifiable elimination. Justifiable elimination is when the cops kill you. Okay? They kill you because they have reason to believe. And I need to touch on that. They have reason to believe. Everybody say force continuum.
Force continuum.
Okay. I'm the president of Black Cops Against Police Brutality. That's why our national president, DeLacy Davis, probably didn't come today because he knew I was going to be here. So I'm the president of the Missouri chapter, not the national president. DeLacy Davis is our national president, but I'm the president of the Missouri chapter of Black Cops Against Police Brutality. And if you guys want to ask some questions about the Ferguson incident after, we can do that, because I'm going to tell y'all right now, the media played a game on all of y'all. Believe me when I tell you. Most of what you think you know about the Ferguson incident, you heard it on CNN. And you don't understand the whole agenda behind media manipulation and mind control. All of the positive testimonies that they interviewed, they never aired those things. They only aired that which would inflame your anger and get you riled up and make you want to retaliate without wisdom. So we can talk about that if you want to. Let's deal with the force continuum in law enforcement. Now, here's another thing I'm going to ask you. Let me ask this first. How many of you in this room have read the use of force laws for the state of New Jersey? Wow. 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 You don't know the use of force laws for the state you live in. Okay, so I'm going to give a homework assignment. Okay, so you can help prepare yourself on how to combat this system. Google, how many of y'all got internet access? Talk to me. Got Google? Okay, good. Google use of force laws or use of force policy, state of New Jersey. Google it. Okay? You need to read it. Now, it's a 6-page document, so I'm not going to waste the time to read it to you now. But I will tell you this in a nutshell. And hear me well. The policy for the state of New Jersey states that a law enforcement officer has the justifiable right to use whatever force he or she deems necessary to effect an arrest. Did y'all hear what I just said? You tell me back in your words, Brother Ray, what does that mean to you? Okay, brother.
I was watching this show.
Now answer the question. I want to know about the show.
I know, but
Answer the question I just asked you.
like,
What does that mean?
it means to me,
Yes.
it means that they will do anything to get you arrested.
That's not what it means.
No?
No. Now see, that's why it's important to understand the law. It doesn't mean that they will do anything to get you arrested. No. It means that they have the power, they have the right to use whatever force is necessary to effect an arrest. You're on the right track. But for example, I just asked you guys about the force continuum, right? Force continuum is simply this. There are several levels to the force continuum. Force continuum. Continuum. Force continuum. The continuum of force. In other words, when I encounter you as a law enforcement officer, if you don't do what I tell you to do, when I tell you to do it, I have the right to use the next level of force. Are y'all getting this? So if I say, hands, let me see your hands. That doesn't mean that you say back to me, for what? I ain't do nothing. Did you get what I just said? See, our problem, young brothers, we males have an ego problem. Everybody repeat after me. The scene, come on, talk to me. The scene is not the place, to state your case. Did y'all get that? Turn it into a song if you want to. The scene is not the place to state your case. Okay, make it a song so it gets in here. The scene is not the place to state your case. The number one reason why many of our young males end up being assaulted or victims of excessive force is because they try to combat the law enforcement officer with their mouth. I ain't do nothing. What you stopping me for? I ain't do nothing, man. Leave me alone. Get off me. Are y'all grabbing this? Once you open your mouth, you automatically allow that officer to go to the next level in the force continuum. The first level is what you call verbal commands. Police presence. If you don't listen to the verbal commands according to the law of the state of New Jersey, you give that officer the right to go to the next level in the force continuum. Since you didn't listen to what he said, now he can make contact with you. He can put his hands on you, do arm locks, wrist locks. Now, if you resist, guess what? He goes to the next level. Okay? Which is hand contact with force, such as punching, knocking, kicking. If you still don't comply, then he goes to the next level in the force continuum, which is impact instruments, such as your asp baton. Y'all know what that is? It's a metal baton that extends. They don't carry the wooden ones no more. It's called an ASP, A-S-P. Got me? And this is all to effect an arrest. And guess what, y'all? Let me fast forward and go up higher. That law applies to the use of deadly force if they feel it's necessary to effect an arrest, according to the laws of the state of New Jersey. Now, of course, New Jersey is better than Missouri, much better. At least in New Jersey, there's a clause there that says the officer must feel that he is in imminent danger. But the law of New Jersey actually says that if you are fleeing and that officer believes, you didn't commit a crime, but the officer thinks you did, and you're fleeing, the laws for the state of New Jersey says the officer has the right to actually shoot you. That's why I asked you, how many of y'all have read the law for use of, most of our young brothers who are ending up victims of a police shooting is because they don't know the law. Are y'all grabbing what I'm saying? So brothers, please, I beg you, read the law on the use of force in the state of New Jersey and share it with your brothers so that we can stop our black males from getting killed by a law enforcement encounter. Am I making sense? Whew, man. I've seen too many situations as a critical incident officer where our males, especially our males, because I think Elder mentioned it earlier, when these cops look at you, they see a weapon. Did y'all hear what I said? Yes. They see a weapon. They don't just see a black man, they see a weapon when they look at you. And believe me, you are a weapon. Our sister, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, have y'all ever read her? Okay, you guys don't know who Frances Cress Welsing is? Okay, yeah, so we got some educating to do. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing put out a book entitled The Isis Papers, Keys to the Colors. And she made it very clear that you and I are weapons. We are weapons to white supremacy. We are weapons to white genetic survival, period. You got to understand how deep this goes. Y'all have a chemical in you called melanin. And that chemical, okay, let's go. You guys are kind of young. You might not remember the Atlanta child murders. Okay, the older ones in here remember the Atlanta child murders. You know what the media did not tell us about the Atlanta child murders? That every last one of those black children that were found, the heads of their penises had been cut off. What the media did not tell you is that the pituitary gland had been surgically removed in each of these victims. You know why? Because the pituitary gland underneath the brain and in the head of the penis is the highest concentration of melanin in the black male. White folk go to the store and buy something called melatonin. Hear it. Melanin. Melatonin. They want this substance in their bodies, and there are some very rich white folk who want the chemical that's in you called melanin. Am I talking strange to y'all? Okay, you are rich. You are a threat to white genetic survival. And that's what racism is all about. Racism is not about white people hating black people. Hear me. White folk ain't got time to hate black people. It's about genetic survival. Let me give you the backdrop right quick. In the 14th, 15th, and 16th century, when the European began to circumnavigate the globe, you know what they saw? Black folk, people of color. You're talking about a people who are less than 10% of the world's population. Everywhere else they went on the planet, they saw people of color. And that's when they began. And then when these sailors had sex with women of color, babies were coming out colored. Am I making sense? So what that told them is if we don't do something, we're going to be genetically annihilated. So we got to put a device in place to be sure that we survive. And the best thing for white genetic survival is the elimination of black. You can take black anything. Get a glass of white paint and put any color in it. Just one drop of any color in that glass of white paint. And guess what? Put a drop of red ink in there. what color is that paint going to be? Thank you. Get the picture? That's the same thing what happens genetically. So you are a threat. So when police officers look at you, they see a weapon. And that's one of the reasons, grab what I'm saying, I've sat in on roll calls for years where I've listened to the duty officer, the duty sergeant, the duty commander tell the cops that's getting ready to go out on the streets, if you see a vehicle with more than 2 black occupants in it, pull it over and check it out. Are y'all getting this? Man. And then what happens when stopped by the police? What do? You'd be surprised how many young brothers, their license is suspended or they're driving, their tags are suspended. You get what I'm saying? So brothers, you have to be sure that you don't give your enemy any ammunition to use against you. Stop putting yourself in the position to get killed. Okay? Don't do that, man. Because you give them a justifiable reason. You know, even if you've been arrested, look into getting it expunged. Y'all know what I mean by expunged? Expunge means have it taken off your record. You can do that. Okay? Get it taken off your record, because what happens is if you get arrested, listen to what I'm saying. If you get arrested and that officer goes back to his cruiser and runs your name, that arrest comes up on his computer. And then that changes his approach protocol to you right off the bat. If you drive, how many of you guys drive? How many of y'all drive? Y'all don't drive? Y'all old enough? Okay. Those who do drive in this room, trust me, I carry a shield, a badge. Okay, and even though I carry a gold badge, when I get pulled over, and as somebody was asking earlier, are you afraid when the cops pull you over? Yeah. Yeah. I know cops who've gotten killed by white cops. I know black cops who've gotten killed by white cops because the white cop thought he was a criminal. Why did he think he was a criminal? Because he was black. So when I get pulled over, the first thing, especially if it's at night, the first thing I do is I turn on all of the interior lights. Okay? I put the windows down so I don't have to move my hands when they walk up. And I put my hand on the steering wheel at the 10 and 2 o'clock position. Y'all get the picture? I get my wallet before they even get out of their cruiser. Have my wallet right here. So when they see me reach for it, it's right here. I ain't got to do like this. So they can pow, saying I was reaching for a gun. Are y'all understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Not, yo, what you stopping me for? How you speak has everything to do with whether you're going to live or you're going to die. Am I clear? Oh, man. Okay. There's so much more I can say, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to answer any questions anybody in here may have directed at me. Okay? Yes?
You're talking about Missouri and the media. I read the New York Times every day, and I watch a little bit of TV. So I'm not saying I know what happened out there. I don't know. But could you touch on a couple of the things that the young man may or may not have done? Now, did he or did he not, in the store, number one, steal cigarettes?
Yes.
Number two, I saw in the video where he basically pushed the guy.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, okay.
Even his friend Dorian Johnson testified to the robbery.
And then he was obviously a big guy with a red Cardinals hat on, so he was sort of easy to identify. So would that officer who ended up killing him, his testimony, and it makes a little bit of common sense to me that over the squawk box they said a big black... Okay,
I need you to ask a question. What's your question?
So did the officer hear over the squawk
Yes.
box the guy who
Yes,
had?
yes,
So
yes.
wouldn't that... I mean, I'm not saying he deserved to be killed for that, but that plays into what you were talking about, that the dynamic changes when that kind of information is in the officer's head.
Yes.
So the kid, again, I don't say he deserved to die for that, but he put in motion at least 2 or 3 items that were not to his benefit.
Yes.
So in other words, that plays into it,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
Yes. Yeah. Again, no one deserves to die over cigarillos. Okay? And actually, to be honest with you, he did not die over cigarillos.
Yeah,
He didn't die over cigarillos.
walking in the street.
Okay.
That's what he.
When the reason why he died is because he did not handle the law enforcement encounter properly. Period. That's why he died. And that's what I'm telling you young brothers now. Okay? He did not handle the law enforcement encounter properly. What was in the law enforcement, and see, one of the things, let me ask you guys to do this right now, please. As far as that particular situation is concerned, don't believe anything that you heard on the media. Please, do not do that. I'm there. I'm dealing with it. In fact, I'll be lobbying the House of Representatives in January to have the law changed in the state of Missouri on the use of force. I'm getting that bill passed. Okay? But do not believe anything that you heard on the media, other than young man got shot and killed by a police officer. All right? Understand, brothers and sisters, CNN and the media, they're interested in ratings. They're not interested in the truth. Okay? They're interested in ratings. So what they do is they present misinformation to inflame the emotions of the public. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Yes. Believe me when I tell you, Dorian Johnson's version of what happened is not the truth. Okay? I repeat, it is not the truth. Being the president of Black Cops Against Police Brutality, okay, I have people on the ground in various police agencies there. Are y'all grabbing what I'm saying? And the day it happened, I got a phone call from one of our officers in the county police department there and said, Rev, before you step in this and make yourself look bad, let me tell you, that whole presentation was a lie that came out over the television. The whole thing. What makes me angry is how the media has manipulated the masses all over the world and literally got people marching and protesting saying justice for Michael Brown. Let me deal with that for a moment. Everybody say this. There's no such thing as justice for a person.
There's no such thing as justice for a person.
Please understand that. When we say we want justice, you know what we mean? What we mean is I want y'all to give us what I want. I want you to do what I think need to be done. That's not justice. Justice is the result of the accumulation of the facts. Okay, that's justice. That's truth. Justice is based on truth. Justice is not based on mass manipulation by the media. Did y'all hear what I just said? Trust me, family, everything that you heard over the news media was misinformation. Everything. Yes, my sister, you're back.
Can you please tell us the truth?
As far as the Michael Brown situation?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
This is one of the reasons why I tell people, read the transcripts. Don't take the media. Read the transcripts. Okay? What actually happened, without going through the whole day.
Yeah, I just was getting mixed messages. That's why I need you here, because
Okay.
it seemed like you could get me closer to the truth.
Okay. What actually happened is Michael Brown did rob the store. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about that. He committed a crime. The crime is called strong arm robbery. If he hadn't committed that crime, he'd be alive today. Okay? Because when the officer rolled up on him and told him to get out of the street, that's what that was about. Okay? They were walking down Miller Street. They told him to get out of the street. Cool. As he pulled off, okay, he noticed the cigars in his hand. That's when he backed up. And also as he pulled off, because he told him to get out of the street, Michael Brown had uttered some words to the officer. Okay? He backed up, and when he backed up to confront them, that's when this altercation took place. He didn't even get, he called in Okay, and we got the radio call. He called in, and he had identified the two that came over the radio call description from the store. But he didn't get to that point. He never got to that point, because when he backed up, and he backed up aggressively. Maybe he should not have done that. He backed up aggressively, and when he backed up, it left Michael and Dorian right there at the police cruiser. An altercation ensued. Yes, it did, between Michael Brown and the law enforcement officer, where Michael Brown did assault the officer. Michael was high. That's the truth. In fact, he and Dorian had been smoking since about 8 o'clock that morning. Okay, so both of them were high. He and Dorian were high. You know. Now, trust me, I'm there. Okay, y'all, only thing y'all know is what the news has told y'all. I'm there on the ground. You follow what I'm saying? Okay.
But you weren't there at the scene.
No, but no.
When that happened.
No, I wasn't at the scene.
Yeah.
But I am there on the ground.
Yeah, but I'm saying none of those factors.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I'm finding it hard to
I understand that, and I need y'all to leave your emotions out of this.
I just wanted to hear.
She wanted to hear from me,
So I could cipher
right?
out whatever.
Okay, and I'm telling you the testimony of eyewitnesses. 2 of them go to my church in St. Louis. One of the sisters watched the whole thing from inside her car. The news media ain't tell y'all that. You follow what I'm saying? I'm there.
Right.
Okay?
Continue.
So thank you for asking to hear from me. Okay? An altercation did ensue. Yes, he fought the officer, and the officer shot him from inside the vehicle. That's when he took off running. Officer got out and gave chase. He ran about 150, according to the crime scene report, he ran about 153 feet and when he turned around. And when he turned around, he charged back at the officer 23 feet. I have the picture right here in my computer to show you that. From the blood trail.
You mean with the gun?
Yes.
Gun too?
No. He charged back at the, he was unarmed.
When you say charge back, that means
Coming toward the officer, yes. He ran back toward the officer for 23.5 feet. You got me? The blood trail shows that. See, this is what I mean. The media didn't tell you that. The media is not going to tell you that.
But why
So now follow what I'm saying. Now, I can't tell you why he ran back. Okay, all I can tell you is from the first shot, when he turned around and he started back toward the officer, from the first shot till he went down was 23.5 feet. The blood trail shows him running back that far. Before, when he got shot and when he stopped. Okay? Now, that is why the officer walked. That's the only reason why Officer Wilson was cleared of the charge. Because of the forensic crime scene evidence showing him running from the driveway where he was standing on the sidewalk back 23.5 feet, which he ended up in the middle of the road. Okay? And this is the crime scene evidence that caused our people on the ground to call me and say, Rev, before you make yourself look bad, you need to know what really happened. Because that's not what the television media showed us. You see, when I first heard on the media, I got infuriated. I was ready to go out there and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You see what I'm saying? So he ran back toward the officer, and that's what gave the officer the justifiable right to shoot. Officers, we are trained to pull that trigger until the threat is eliminated. Did y'all just hear what I said?
Yeah.
We're trained to pull the trigger until the threat is eliminated. And again, here's the sick part about that. That's up to the officer. It's depending on what's going on in that cop's head.
And if he feels threatened. Yeah.
And if he feels threatened, right. So he kept pulling the trigger until the brother fell. And of course, as he was going down, that was the last kill shot in the top of the head. You see? Now, again, the media didn't tell y'all that. And that's why everybody's inflamed. Here's what the media said. An unarmed black teenager, 18-year-old, was shot and killed by a white police officer. When I heard that, I got ballistic too. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got ballistic, man. I went off until I examined the crime scene reports myself. The media didn't show you that.
Can I ask the audience a question? Especially you young people there. Which one of y'all would run back towards an armed police officer who had already shot you? I mean,
Nobody in their right mind.
yeah, nobody in their, I mean, it just defies common
It
sense.
defies common sense. But
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
see, this is why, how many of y'all have seen CSI on television? Okay, see, that's the whole purpose of crime scene units. Okay? It's the evidence on the ground that tells you what happened. It paints the whole picture all over again for you. Okay? And the thing is, because the brother was not in his right state of mind. Okay? And see, another thing we need to check. Do I have y'all's permission to speak candidly?
Yes.
Permission to speak candidly.
Granted.
I'm not going to speak if you don't give me permission.
Granted.
Permission to speak candidly. Let's take the angel's wings off of this guy. We're acting like he was an upstanding citizen of the community. Like he was a pastor or a civil rights leader. We're talking a brother who was, come on y'all, he was a member of,
He was just like them kids sitting right there.
no, I'm not going to say, no, I can't say that, brother. That's not fair. That's not fair.
Man, he
That's
was
not
a young
fair.
black man.
Brother, you don't know that. You don't know that.
Yeah, but you do.
I'm telling you, I'm there, brother. I'm
Based on what? You
Okay.
wasn't at the crime scene. Based on what?
Out of respect to the people we're sitting in front of,
but
don't disagree with me like that, man.
No, man, but I'm disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yes, you are.
This is not personal.
I'm not taking it
This is
personal.
not personal.
Brother,
If
brother.
Obama was sitting there, I would raise
Brother.
the same issue with him.
Brother,
Yeah.
I'm telling you what happened. You don't have to accept
No,
it.
you're telling me from a police perspective.
But what better
happened.
perspective to tell you?
Man, come on, man.
What better perspective to tell you,
Yeah.
brother?
This just doesn't make any sense to me. What you
Okay.
saying?
All right, I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you,
No,
brother.
it
I
fits-
can only tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to
You
accept
can
it.
tell me what they.
Yeah, let me talk to these children.
All right, but why would he go back to it?
I can't answer that for you, brother.
But look, can't,
I can show you the picture of the crime scene, though.
can't they alter the blood if they want to?
No, brother, no. I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. In other words, if you don't want to see the truth, then you start adding all that stuff in. When a crime scene is being processed, there are too many witnesses there, brother. There are too many witnesses, too many cameras on the scene. See, you're not in law enforcement, so you don't understand crime scene processing. You follow what I'm saying? Take it from me, man. We don't do, the crime scene investigators don't do that because there's too many of them. Okay? Now, evidence can get contaminated behind closed doors, but not in front of 300 people. Okay? We don't do that. Too much, that's too much to look at. Yes, sir, young brother.
I think it was because he was smoking. Or like,
Yes. See, here's what the media did not tell you. Dorian Johnson met Michael Brown at 7 a.m. outside their apartment. Got me? The whole purpose they met at that time was to go buy some weed. Now, I'm just giving you read Dorian Johnson's testimony. I'm telling you what Dorian Johnson said himself. Okay? And this is another reason why the jury decided to let him go. Because from 7 o'clock, the robbery took place around 12:15. From 7 a.m. to 12:15, how much time is that? How much time is that? 5 hours. The store that they went to is 15 minutes from the house. So when the jury asked Dorian, what did you guys do all this time? He had no answer. You get what I'm saying? Give an account of your movement, man. Help us understand what you guys did all this time. Now, he told them they were going to buy weed. Then they turned around and asked him, well, did y'all smoke weed? And he said, no, we didn't smoke weed. Okay, well, give an account of your time for 5 hours with this brother. The other thing that was damaging, to end the testimony, since you asked me, let me go here. The other thing that was damaging is this, and hear this well. Dorian testified, listen to me, Dorian testified I'm answering your question, sister, and you talking. Dorian testified that he did not know Michael was going to rob the store. Are y'all grabbing this? And if you notice in the videotape, it showed when Michael gave Dorian some cigarillos, Dorian put the ones back that he gave him on the counter because he didn't want no part of the robbery. Now, here's what the jury asked Dorian. If you saw him rob the store and you didn't know he was going to do this, and you know the guy called the police, why would you continue to walk with him after the robbery? Why didn't you distance yourself from him? Okay, grab what I'm saying. Listen carefully. If your son was with somebody who robbed a store, right? Would you expect him to keep walking with him? I'm asking one simple question. Listen to what I'm saying. Leave your emotions out of this, please. Again, in the mind of the jury, you saw this guy rob a store. Listen, see. In the mind of the jury, you saw this guy rob a store, and you didn't leave and go home. Which, in the mind of the jury, made him an accomplice. You grab what I'm saying? So that discredited his testimony. Are y'all getting this? See, I'm trying to get you to understand how the jury decided not to indict this officer. Because it destroyed Dorian's credibility in their mind. And once the witness's credibility is destroyed, his testimony is meaningless.
Right.
Yes.
Could you explain to some of the young brothers in here, you're familiar with probable cause, right?
Yes.
And could you explain what probable cause is? You're a police officer?
Yeah, well, critical incident.
Right.
Past, not now.
First of all, could you explain what probable cause is?
Probable cause is when something happens that gives that officer reason to believe that you were engaged in this activity.
Right. Okay.
That's probable cause.
Part two. A lot of officers, they use the discretion of their own. Here it is, something happened. 5 black males walking down the street. The majority of the black males here and probably in other cities, they wear the same apparel, sweatsuits.
Yes.
Be it gray, be it black, whatever.
Tavistock Institute.
Right.
Now what you're talking about.
Exactly, right. So when the officer pulls up on the male, he don't know which one of them did it.
Right.
So now, proper cause is out the window because he used his own discretion. And now, when you said do not use your testimony when you get stopped, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you to do when the police pulls you over and say, get against the wall, put your hands up?
You do that.
Is he violating your rights because you don't have probable cause to stop you based on the apparel that you have on? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
okay.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Myself, walking down the street.
Yes.
I just came out the store.
Okay.
Black male with a blue hat and a blue coat on.
Right.
Gray sweatpants.
Okay.
Right? You know how many black males that wear blue hats, gray sweatpants, and blue coats?
Okay.
So if you pull straight up on me and tell me to put my hands up on the wall, put my hands up, do I say, officer, what's the problem, or do I just obey?
You obey.
Even though there's no probable cause for him to stop me?
You obey.
Well, I mean, no, I'm with you. I will obey, but this is the mindset of a lot of young brothers.
And that's what I'm trying to
When the police pull up on them, the first thing comes out of their mouth, when you said don't open your mouth, the first thing they're saying is, what did I do?
Right, right. And again,
So now it puts them on the defense.
But
Let me finish.
the reason why they do that is because they have not been taught not to. That's why we do workshops on what to do when stopped by the police.
Right, so you saying under any circumstance, the police pull you over, if they run up on you, whether you did something or not, whether your rights are violated at that present time or not, you're saying that just obey. I mean, you should just to save your life because you don't know what the outcome of it. But this is what you're saying, right?
Did you remember the phrase I said earlier?
He wasn't here.
Okay, okay. The scene, y'all tell them what I said.
No, I'm trying to draw a picture. I'm just
I
trying
got
to
you.
young brothers know. I'm with you. I'm saying it's obey, but
It's not the place to make your case.
right. That's what I heard you said. That.
Yes.
I heard you
Yes.
said it seems not the place to make your case. But I'm trying to let some of these young brothers know that if a police officer pull up on you, and I'm trying to let you know that a lot of police officers, based on their discretion, they be wrong a lot of times because they don't have...
Of course, I didn't say they were right.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
speaking. They be wrong a lot of times, and they don't have probable cause, but, you know, this is not the time for us to state our case.
That's correct.
So I'm just letting you know.
That's correct.
It's a lot of times they do stereotype a lot of young brothers.
And sometimes it's a radio call that went out. See, we don't hear the radio calls. The only the cop in that unit hears the radio call. And if a description goes out, whether it did or not, that's what they're going to say.
Right.
You fit the description.
Right.
That's the #1 response. You know what I'm saying? You fit the description.
Right.
So here's please have a seat, sir. You fit the description, okay? That's the thing. Young brother, you fit the description.
Right.
You fit the description. So the thing to do is comply.
Right.
Everybody say failure to comply.
Failure to comply.
Failure to comply automatically gives that cop the right to go to the next level in the force continuum. So comply. Whether you think it's wrong or not, comply. I'm trying to save your life.
Right.
I'm not trying to say, don't be, man, that's punkish. Brother, listen, you ain't got time for no punk stuff.
That's right.
Saving your life. If the cop tell you, get up on the wall, hands, let me see your hands. You put those hands up. And I'm going to tell you something else. And I'm not going to go into why I'm telling you this, but everybody do this with your hands. Okay, now I see some of y'all like this. I didn't say this position. Put your hand in this position. You still got your elbows down. Okay. In other words, if you ever have to put your all the way up like yours, but if you ever have to put your hands up, put them up in a 90-degree position, like I got right now. A square. See how my hands are? 90-degree angle on your elbow. Hold it just like this. If they ever stop you, so let me see your hand. Not hands backwards, hand facing forward. Okay? In a 90-degree position. Not elbows in like this, straight out to the side. Trust me when I tell you, that says a lot. Okay? That says a lot. Did y'all hear what I just said? Every police officer above the rank of sergeant understands what this means. Did y'all hear what I said? Every police officer above the rank of sergeant understands what this 90-degree angle means when you hold your hands up.
But didn't Michael Brown do that?
No. See, again, that's the media talking. That is not what happened.
He never had his hands up.
No. That's the media. He had one hand out to his side. He couldn't raise the other hand because he got shot here. Y'all grab what I'm saying? So again, that's the media talking. When they said he had his hands up, that's not true. That's not what happened. According to the eyewitnesses, that's not what happened. And the eyewitnesses that the media put on television for you, that said he did have his hands up, ended up admitting that they did not see what happened. And that's testimony, recorded testimony. That's why I said, please don't bite into what you heard on CNN. Okay? I wish we could sue CNN for the damage that was done by their exploiting this issue.
Just believe the police.
No, don't just believe the police. Believe the evidence.
Yeah, the evidence.
Don't believe the police.
The evidence that the police present.
Well, see, brother, you know,
police evidence.
brother, we don't have no other evidence.
There's no other evidence. Yeah.
So in other words, the reality of it, this is the way I'm saying it. Reality, if that cop backed up, this kid probably was like, well, officer, what did I do? And that's called not complying or whatever. So now, he got out the car or whatever, and he started telling them, put your hands on the car or whatever. What are you?
Are you talking about the Michael Brown case now?
Yeah.
You're speculating, sister.
I know.
I don't have time. I can't address speculation. Let's not do that, because you're speculating.
I know that.
So let's not waste time with that.
No, it's not.
We don't speculate.
It's not.
We can only go by what we know.
It's just about the reality, because I know for a fact that nobody is going to, if you know that somebody
Sister, I know that doesn't make sense to you. I know it doesn't. But hear what I'm saying. Hold on, no, stop. Stop. You're wasting my time now. Listen to what I'm saying. 2 sisters that go to my church was sitting in the car watching the whole thing.
So that witness is more like her.
I'm trying to tell you.
Than the other witness. I don't believe that.
You know, sister, okay, I'm finished with it. If we're going to talk about what you believe and what you don't believe, they're not going to address it.
I just was.
I'm trying to tell you the eyewitness. Okay, let's do this. Please go and read the transcripts of the testimonies.
And hold on 1 minute.
Just read the transcript.
Hold on 1 minute.
And you're going to see that the eyewitnesses are not what the media told you.
Hold on 1 minute.
The young brother that got killed, hear what I'm saying? The young brother that got killed was a part of their gang. And he told the truth and got killed for it.
Let me say this here.
You know,
let me just say.
We're all the way out here in New Jersey trying to talk about what happened in Ferguson.
Yeah, let me say this here, everybody. Just a minute. Just a point of order to the forum. We're here until 4 o'clock, and I know this is tense. Being part of the host, I'm subjective. I have some questions too. You know what I'm saying about what he has presented, but I'm subjected to just interject that in the discussion on right now. But what I wanted to say, respect the guest right here. We're gonna shut this here down. You can dialogue with him, and tomorrow at the Source of Knowledge bookstore, he'll be there. It's gonna be, I know it's gonna be hot. A hot crowd has been there.
Tomorrow, brother.
Yeah.
That's a different topic.
So, but Ferguson is on everybody's mind, and we need clarity. So I just wanted to say that.
Can I just say something real fast? Because we have a young brother whose hand's been out for a while, and I really want to get to some of the young people, if that's okay, brother.
Yeah.
Isaiah, I'm sorry, Isaiah, you still want to make your point? I know you've been holding your hand up for the longest.
Hey, Isaiah.
Stand up, Isaiah, because he can't, Andy's taller than you, so we can't see you. Go ahead.
So I'm walking down the street, the cop was just coming to me, trying to put my hand up.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Say that again?
So I'm just walking down the street, and a cop like drives up next to me and said, put my hand up, I have to put my hand up.
Yes.
What do you think you should do?
I was going to say, what do you think you should do?
What do you think you should do, Isaiah?
Put my hand up.
Okay.
Oh, why'd you ask the question?
He just want to know if he has to.
I think he probably asked the question. I said I think because I don't know. I think he probably asked the question because, like I said, we discuss various matters of how to handle these situations. And when you're in group, it's all, everything is good to go. But when you're on the street, you really do have to ask yourself, how do I really handle this? Even with my so-called education of being told and taught, you have to, because once again, we have a brother back here who was just coming home, just walking home, minding his business, coming from basketball practice. He get ready to go into his building, and exactly what Isaiah said happened to him. He was snatched from just wrestling with another kid against the wall, what's in your book bag, the whole 9. And if he had ran off with the mouth, which I know he's capable of doing, we might have been talking about Lawrence Myers again, who was a brother who was shot in the back of the head. The police all said he wasn't. He accused him of addressing him, doing something he had no business, and none of that happened. I want the family to be very, very clear. It's important that we understand while we may disagree about what's being said. Over here where it says police killings, I don't know if all you can see it, but if you can, the ones that are highlighted are the majority of African-American males who were killed for sometimes even having their hands up. Sometimes being on the ground, handcuffed. Sometimes having 4 or 5 cops around you, holding you down. So don't get confused. We know it happens. But I think what he's also saying is that there's some things that we need to be conscious of too. As I said earlier in my opening, and how many brothers can raise their hands around this? I still get nervous going through Elmwood Park. I'm going from what? Paterson, Eastside Park to Walgreens, and I'm like this. And I'm looking in the mirror, even when I get out the car. So I think we need to be conscious of that, and I hear Rajan is saying too. We need to be conscious of the fact that this is a reality. And he's not saying it's not, but it's a reality. And I'm glad you said we're not in Ferguson, because we're not, but we're in Paterson. But I know for a fact there are young brothers that come from Bud's, coming from Walgreens where he worked, Kmart, on his bike. William Paterson, honor student, coming from riding from Kmart, get all the way up by the falls, get pulled over by the cops, literally dragged off his bike. Where are you coming from? I'm coming from work. Still got his uniform on. He comes to the office, doesn't say a word. Next day goes to work, he got a hammer in his bag because he believes he's going to see that officer again. His mother calls me, Mr. Small, you got to talk to such and such and such. Guess what happened to him? I had to talk to him about strategy. How traumatized he was. I know for a fact that that young man felt like this is going to happen again. You know, so let's be clear.
So what he was going to use the hammer against the officer?
He was going to use the hammer against anybody that he felt was going to put him in any type of bodily harm. And that's what I had to talk to him about. It's not just the officer now. Anybody. Because he's angry, he's hurt, he feels traumatized. You know, so let's be very, very clear. You know, especially to the young brothers here. No one here is saying that if you put your hands up 90 degrees, ain't nothing going to happen to you. But what we are saying to you is that whether it's a police officer, any other adult, and I mean any other adult, teacher, whomever, be mindful of how you handle yourself, because that action can lead to other actions. And some of y'all know, y'all got suspended for just being honest around some stuff, but that wasn't the time or the place to be honest. Let's be clear around that, because like I said, as a black man, I'm nervous all the time, and that's a fact.
I'm going to come back to you, just to add this here. This is why the statement that I opened up this program with, we have to take full control over these agencies that control our community. Because if we don't control the policing, don't change the structure of how policing takes place, these things will continue.
Yes.
The issues of black men being murdered, this is real. Black men are being murdered in the street with impunity. And if we don't put things in place, you understand, the next person that takes the civil service test and becomes a police officer will have the license to kill. So don't take these forms. You know, I'm fired up right now. Do not take these forms as alternative forms of entertainment. It's serious.
Yes, it is.
We got to get serious about changing the structure.
That's right.
I ain't talking about body armors because they want to put cameras on. Hell, they had a damn camera on when Eric Garner was choked to death. You understand?
Yeah.
It was filmed.
Let's touch that for a moment.
It was filmed.
Let's touch that for a moment.
So let me just finish this.
Yeah.
So it's not about cosmetic reform. I can go home and change the shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, same old shirt. No, it's about changing the structure so that that officer understands, look, God damn it, you work for us. And we don't work for you.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let's touch
That's
that for a moment.
the nature of it.
Let me get a word in. You know, I recently wrote an article, all these police killings, you know, about youth, right? And I had to look at where does the police come from, right? They come from the same demographic that youth going into the military come from, 18 to 24-year-olds. They go into the police academy. No life experience.
Right.
Huh? Nothing. Ain't never ran nothing in their life but their mouth. Ain't never controlled nobody in their life. You understand? Not even their little brothers and sisters. And they go through this police academy. And they turn into robots, just like the military are turned into robots, killing machines. Right? And then they come out of the academy and they give them a gun. A gun?
Okay.
They give it to this retard. Huh? They're giving him a gun, and he doesn't have any negotiating. Excuse me, he doesn't have any negotiating skills.
Brother, are you saying all cops are retards?
No.
Well, that's what you just implied.
No, I'm talking about these kids coming out of these police academies.
But you said
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
my point.
yeah. No. Okay. They come out of these police academies, and they've never negotiated anything with anybody.
They're inexperienced, brother.
They're inexperienced.
Right.
They have no life experience whatsoever. So when they walk up to your car, the first thing they got is their hand on their guns.
Yes, they do.
They have a pre-planned speech for every individual that they come in contact with. Their primary concern is control. Control. And if you show any kind of resistance to that control, the first thing they're reaching for is their gun, because that's all they got. Right? But now, I'm thinking along this path, and then suddenly I said, man, let me do some research. And I did some research on unarmed policing. Great Britain, the United Kingdom, police there have been policing since the 19th century, unarmed. Unarmed. And then I found other countries around the world where the police are unarmed. In Great Britain, man, you have to be a sergeant or above, and then you have to have a reason to have a gun, right? So what if we unarm or disarm the police here in America? Huh? How would they be policing in Paterson, New Jersey? How would they be policing in Ferguson? How would they be policing anywhere in this country, man? Huh? It would be totally different. You understand? The gun is the problem.
You wouldn't have no cops.
The gun is the problem.
You wouldn't have no cops.
Yeah, well, they got cops, and they've had cops in Great Britain since the 19th century.
Let me tell you why you wouldn't have no cops.
You got cops,
Because
retards with guns, man.
We have street organizations.
Yeah.
I won't use the word gangs.
Right.
But we have street organizations that carry automatic weapons.
That's right.
Let's keep it real, people.
Yeah.
Okay, we got young people out here right now that got this carrying MAC-10s and Uzis.
Right.
Okay, so to take the weapons away from the cops would close down the police department if you're going to leave young people with automatic weapons.
No, I just had, earlier in your statement, Mr. Hagins, you had said the Institute,
Tavistock
Could you
Institute.
spell that for me, please?
Tavistock.
It's actually called the Tavis
Exactly.
manipulation.
It's actually called Tavistock Institute of Human Relations.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know our time is just about up, but what I'm going to do, brothers.
Go 15 more minutes.
Oh, we got 15. Okay.
4:15.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this picture right here, okay, for you guys to examine. This is the crime scene evidence. On this picture, there's an evidence marker number 20. Evidence marker number 20 is the point where Michael Brown turned around after he stopped running. Okay? And you can look up here 23.5 feet later, you see a big pool of blood where he ran from evidence marker number 20, 23.5 feet back toward the police officer. Okay? That's your crime scene evidence. This is not fabricated. Okay? Everything out there is being videotaped. Everything. See now, why didn't, the same picture I have right here, why didn't it tell you that on CNN? That's what I mean by mind control and mass manipulation of the media.
So do you think that the cop was justified in what he did? That's what I want to know.
Let's say it this way. Running, charging at the officer for 23.5 feet, he was trained to stop the threat. This dude had just punched this cop in the face several times. Okay? And now this same guy is running back at the cop. The cop, according to his training, is to put that person down. And the sad thing about it is, Ferguson Police Department doesn't have tasers.
That's what I was just going to ask.
Excuse me.
Yes.
This young brother here.
Casme.
That's me.
So he got shot before or after he went out the car?
Say that
No,
again?
in the shoulder. He got shot in the shoulder. Was it before or after?
That was, when he got shot here,
In the shoulder.
that was when he was having the first altercation at the cruiser. That's when he took off running.
And you said another cop shot him from the car?
No, there's only one officer.
Hold on 1 minute, yeah. Because I want to get to these here young people, because it's critical that they just ask a question. Sherman?
Any other
Hold
questions?
on, Bilal. I think he has a point to go with the question.
So did the cop, did he know that he was high or something?
No, he didn't know that at all.
So
All he knew is this guy who just punched him in the face was coming back at him. That's all he knew.
Alright, so how come he couldn't like shoot his leg and he ready to slow down because he got a shot, a wound right here?
Good question.
Why not go for his leg?
Because cops are not trained to shoot that way. Okay, see, these are things we need to understand. If you ever look at a police shooting target, There are no arms and legs on that joke. It's all center mass and head. That's where cops are trained to shoot.
And when you don't respect or see black males as human beings, when you're just considered chattel or cattle, then you're definitely not going to be shot anywhere else but as being fatally shot. Once again, I got to go back to all the killings on there.
It's deep, because I've seen situations where white folks actually got into a physical fight with cops. You see what I'm saying? And those cops chose not to shoot.
So it's another dynamic.
You see what I'm saying?
So you got to be mindful of that too. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Yes, I'm trying to tell you. It's the law says if that listen carefully to the words I'm using now. If that officer deems it necessary, he could be a sick, twisted cop. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But if he thinks it's necessary for his safety, everybody say, here, let me give you a model that cops say. Everybody say this: do my 8 and get out the gate.
Do my 8 and get out the gate.
Do my 8 and get out the gate. In other words, every cop's goal is to go home at the end of the day. You got what I'm saying? He's not out there to allow himself to be injured. And you got to remember that. So because this dude was coming back at him, I mean, that's another thing. You're talking about a 40 caliber handgun here. A 40 caliber handgun. When that joker hits you, if it hit me, it would knock me at least back to the wall. Okay? This dude was so big, he took a shot dead center of a 40 caliber handgun and took off running. And then turned around and came back.
It's suicide by a cop.
You know? So, hey. And that's why this cop walked. Because this picture right here shows that he ran 23.5 feet back toward the police officer. You got what I'm saying? And according to his training, he had to put him down. Now, was it right, in my opinion? Of course not. Not right at all. But everybody say there's a difference between what is right.
There's a difference between what is right.
Come on, talk to me. There's a difference between what is right.
There's a difference between what is right
and what is legal. So when it comes to this kind of issues, it ain't about what's right. It's what's illegal. In other words, Officer Darren Wilson did not break the law of the state of Missouri. And that's why he had to walk. It's painful. It's sad. That's what happened. Oh, he got buku money. Yes.
ABC News paid him $500,000.
In fact, to be honest with you, and I put this on my Facebook blog, and everybody, folks didn't like it. Everybody got paid except the protesters. Everybody. You know how much money these cops made in overtime? One of the guys, one of the cops made so much money in overtime, he took a trip to France, man. Any other questions from these young brothers?
Stefan Sherman, that's it.
Yes, you got a question back there? Who?
Speak up, young brother. Stand up, speak up.
Oh, you said they don't have tasers, right?
Who? Say it again?
They don't have tasers?
Where?
Somebody purpose.
In Ferguson? No, Ferguson Police Department. You got to understand something. See, the media made Ferguson look so big, y'all think it's a major city. You can ride through Ferguson in 3 minutes, border to border. It's a small country town. You follow me? And the people in Ferguson, okay? Now, it's really deep because I got about 8 people in my church from Ferguson. And they all said to me, Pastor, we ain't got no problem in Ferguson. The only problem that we have in Ferguson is the Canfield Apartments. Y'all know what happened at Canfield Apartments? That's where this happened with Michael Brown. Okay, Canfield Apartment is, you got gangs there and a heavy drug traffic activity in the Canfield Apartments. So when the police roll up in Canfield Apartments, they roll up in there with a certain attitude. Right, exactly. You see what I'm saying? But most of the people who live in Ferguson, they ain't got no complaint about Ferguson. until now. So I asked them, I said, why y'all waiting until this happened to want to change Ferguson? If it was so bad. Not the members of my church, but the people who said Ferguson, you know, unequal. Why y'all wait until now if it's been this bad? All this time, y'all could have been voting and changing everything. Y'all, all of a sudden now, y'all angry with your mayor. You ain't been angry with him. Y'all grab what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Missouri is a strange place. Trust me when I tell you. When I moved out there, I said, God, why you send me here? Missouri was the last state to give up slavery.
That's right.
Missouri is the home of the Dred Scott decision.
That's right.
Okay, and when I say Ferguson, we're talking 5 miles away from Ferguson.
He said, what's the Dred Scott?
I was just going to ask, who does not know what the Dred Scott decision is? Okay, because y'all don't know, please give me a moment to enlighten you.
Yes.
Dred Scott was an enslaved African. Got me? Who lived in Missouri. Okay? When his owner died, the widow moved across the Mississippi River into Illinois. Okay? Illinois is a free state.
That's right.
So now that they live in Illinois, Dred Scott said, since we're in Illinois, I should be set free. Well, the widow said, nope, I'm not setting you free. But you can't keep me as a slave here. We're in Illinois. So he took it to court. And it went all the way to the Supreme Court, which is right downtown under the arch in St. Louis. And Judge Taney ruled. And let me give you the ruling of the Supreme Court. And guess what, y'all? The words I'm about to say to you are still on the books today.
Never been overturned. That's right. Never.
Never been overturned.
That's right. Never.
Judge Taney said, and I quote him, here's the final rule. A black man has no rights that a white man is bound to respect.
That's right.
Still on the book.
That's called the Dred Scott decision. That's still a